Hello everyone, thanks for joining us on Tommy Media's The Locker Room. I'm Cam Kauffman. Fresh off of a bye week, the St. Thomas football team takes on the 0-3 Lincoln University Oaklanders Saturday in a non-conference matchup at O'Shaughnessy Stadium. St. Thomas currently holds a 1-1 record after a Week 1 loss to Southern Utah and a Week 2 blowout against Michigan Tech. This will be the Tommies' last non-conference game before Pioneer League play begins. Today I'm joined by head coach Glenn Caruso, linebacker Jonathan Bunce, and receiver Andrew McElroy to talk about how they are preparing for Saturday's game and the rest of the season. Thanks for coming in today, guys.
Thanks for having us, Cam.
Coach, how do you feel like this past 2 weeks have kind of set you up for the rest of the season?
Well, it's not quite done yet, so we still have a little bit more work. But last week's bye week, I think a lot of people say, what do you do during the bye week? They think we just kind of take it off, right? And it allowed us a few things, chance to recalculate sort of who we are and what we need to work on, and a chance to get fresh a little bit. And we were able to do that last week. I thought that was tremendous. And then this week, just focus on Lincoln. Really excited about what Coach Gums is doing out there, new program, and we know what it's like to rebuild a program.
Definitely. What have you guys kind of been doing to prepare for Lincoln itself?
Well, we're obviously we each have a couple of games on each other,
Sure.
right? So we're able to see what they do. We knew what they were doing last year. That was their first year of play, third year overall as a program. But what we would do in any other game, we just preparing for the opponent and then making sure that we have practice ready so that the things that have to get covered. And we also get a little bit of competition against ourselves, and we're very fortunate to be able to do that quite a bit.
Definitely. Guys, how does playing teams like Southern Utah, FCS, D1 scholarship teams like that kind of prepare you for your tough conference play in the rest of the season?
It's a good question. I think it prepares you physically. The guys you're playing against are really good athletes, and especially on the O-line, it's a lot bigger, a lot better size, a lot better speed. I think it's a reality check a lot of times, going through camp, playing some of the teams like those guys, like you and I last year.
Yeah.
It really gives you a challenge. You have to be really good with your technique, really good with your assignments. So I think that's the thing I see the most through playing that competition.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with John on that. I'd say it is a big reality check, and just seeing how some other guys they were a lot faster on the outsides with their corners and safeties. It was just, you have to make sure that you're always on point with what you're doing and route running and just any parts of the games.
Definitely. Coach, we haven't seen Hope last week. He's a pretty popular person on your offense, to say the least. And
Sure.
we didn't see him last week, and Sean Shipman really stepped in for him. Do you see him playing a really big role for the rest of the season here?
Sean?
Yeah.
For sure. He's, anytime that you run an offense like ours that's going to be balanced and you're going to try your best to establish a run game, imperative that you have more than one tailback. In years where I think we've done the best jobs, we've had 2 or 3 tailbacks that are starting tailbacks. And Gabe Abel's another name which you didn't mention, but
Sure.
we're going to count on him too.
Yeah.
And the name that you don't mention is a guy like Josh Comas. He does all the dirty work in there and doesn't get a lot of the attention. But when you run an offense like we do, you need more than one back. And although Hope is eminently qualified to carry a lot of the load, Sean Shipman is ready to go. And case in point, what you saw last week.
Yeah. Well, he did great.
He did.
Yeah. John, Lincoln so far hasn't really been able to get much going for their offense. They've been outscored 160-24 in their first 3 games. How do you, as a defensive player, plan to kind of keep them quiet in this game on Saturday?
Yeah, I think going into any game, it's really about focusing on us, not about the opponent and what they're doing. I think we have some good keys from our previous 2 games that run in a similar offense, so just building on those 2 things, or those 2 games, on how we prepare and how we do things. Yeah. But Coach K says all the time, it's not about them, it's about how we prepare and what we do. And we're judging our success based on what we know our standard is.
Definitely. Andrew, how do you feel like St. Thomas's chemistry has been this year as a football program?
I think our chemistry keeps growing as we keep going every day. I feel like the offense is starting to click a lot more, especially between the receivers and quarterbacks, and just everyone is starting to gel more together. And I feel like this is going to play a big part in our success, is how well we are together.
Definitely. Coach, how have you kind of, you always talk about this, at least when I talk to you, about how our home atmosphere kind of plays into the game. How do you kind of see that playing into Saturday's game?
Well, hopefully it's very similar to last week. Number one, I absolutely love the end zone
Yeah.
stands that were added. I think anytime you can continue to grow and build and add things, that's what we've done the last 15 years, right? Is every year just a little something more. And that was a huge winning edge. The crowd getting into it and understanding that when they have the ball to be loud, and when we have the ball maybe to be a little less loud but still be excited about it, that's a level of improvement we can make from home game 1 to home game 2. But overall, the student section was amazing. The crowd was amazing, and I would expect nothing but more of that.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in today.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Be sure to follow along on TommyMedia.com and on social media at TommyMedia for more St. Thomas sports coverage. With Coach Glenn Caruso, Jonathan Bunce, and Andrew McElroy, I'm Cam Kauffman. We'll see you next time in The Locker Room.